Yes. Okay. So where are we? What happened, guys? Feeling like a movie theater feel? Nice. Okay. So yeah, yesterday we are talking about the data structures. We understood about why do we need go for the data structures. What is the reason we have n number of data structures? We are going to choose the particular data structure based on the requirement or based on the data what we are going to store. Okay. As we discussed that JavaScript is not supporting all the data structures what we have earlier, as it is not supporting the concepts of pointers and addresses. You cannot go with linked list, graphs, trees, etc. and all. The only data structures what it supports is arrays, JSON, map, and sets. Okay, these are the data structures what JavaScript is supporting. And you already know that why the reason we are going with this data structures. The reason is we want to store multiple data under the same variable. Okay, I don't want to go with a single variable or single value, but I want, once I declare a one variable, I want to store multiple values. Now, what is the braces using which you are going to identify arrays? Square brace. Now I'll say something called as square brace. Now, how you're going to declare an array in your JavaScript? Where? Okay, so how you're going to declare the array? So whenever I say where some variable name is equal to square brace itself, it is going to become an array. Or what is the other way? The other way is where variable name is equal to new array of. This is a dynamic way of creating an array. So in case of your JavaScript, whenever you're creating an array, you don't need to specify the size of an array. Okay, when you go to the other technologies like your C language or so, you need to specify the size when you create an array. You need to say that, okay, this array is capable of holding 10 values, 20 values, 30 values, 100 values. But the problem or the limitation what you have is, now when I say array of 100 students, I said array of 100. Now, I in future say, for example, 10 new students are getting registered. Is it is possible to increase? No. So if you say that, okay, boss, it is better you create some 1,000. So that like doesn't matter 100 will come, 200 will come, 500 will come, your array will be accommodating it. But the problem is if I create a size of 1,000, unnecessarily the empty spaces are going to be wasted. So to avoid that, what JavaScript is saying, whenever you're creating an array, you don't need to tell me the size of it. Okay, you simply say that it is an array. Now, whenever you say an array in your JavaScript, it can be dynamically grown or it can be dynamically stringed up. Okay, you say that now I'm storing some 100 variables in variable name. It will work. I store only 20 memory is going to get created. You are not wasting the memory by declaring the size before itself. Am I clear? And whenever you want to insert the data inside the array, now I can say something called as where a is equal to array of some 23, 45, 56, etc. Like this, you can create any number of values inside the array. And another main thing what you have inside your array is, are arrays is array is a homogeneous or heterogeneous data structure? Homogeneous data structures, right? Homogeneous or heterogeneous? First thing, what do you mean by homogeneous and heterogeneous? Same type of data. Okay. Now, when I say where student data is equal to an array. In your JavaScript, arrays are heterogeneous data structure. When you go to the other technologies, it is homogeneous. Once you declare an integer, only integers can be stored. Once you make it as a string, only strings can be stored. Whatever the data type you store, only those data type can be stored. But coming to the JavaScript, once I say student data, the name is Mr. Raj, age is going to be say some 20, gender is going to be something called as male. Like this, you can say, for example, is fees paid or not, say some true. Like this, if you see all the type of data I could able to store inside the array. Arrays are heterogeneous data structures inside your JavaScript. You can store any type of data inside the same array. Are we clear, everyone? Okay. Now, yesterday we are in between this. Now, guys, please, if you have any question, talk to me, not between you. Say for example, I say A is equal to say some 19. Is A is an array or a normal variable? Normal variable. I say where B is equal to say some like this. Is B is an array or normal variable? Array capable of holding multiple values. Now I say I say some marks is equal to something called as 34, 55, 66, 78, something like this. Now when I say console.log A, at the same time console.log marks. Okay, let us see the difference. Understand this topic, guys. We are talking about the memory management of your arrays. Now, when I open this guy inside the browser, let us inspect this guy. I go to console. You see that 19 value been shown as it is. Whereas coming to the arrays, if I expand this, one single variable is capable of holding some 4 values. It is 4. It can be any number of values, right? Understand, everyone? Now, what do you mean by this 0, 1, 2, 3, 4? Have we ever assigned these values 1, 2, 3, 4 while creating the array? No, we are only telling the values, but we haven't assigned any this integer values like this. So what actually those are? So let's have an understanding of these guys. What are those? Index. Then I don't need to discuss, right? You already know it. Can I skip it? Okay, let us say how the data or how the memory is getting allocated for these variables. Now, when I say where A is equal to 9, you know what is going to happen? Internally, a piece of block is going to get allocated. I say something called as A. Under that, the value 19 is getting stored. In future, you create another variable called as some C. You see, it is not going to allocate the memory to the very next of A, but it will find out a space where I can, free space where I can store the other value. Then I may say some C is equal to say something called as some 100 like this. Okay. Whenever you declare multiple variables inside a single application, it is not mandatory that they will be occupying the continuous memory. So there is a big space what I have. I can identify whatever the empty space, there I'm going to allocate the memory. But coming to the arrays, now when I say, for example, where some data is equal to array of some 34, 55, 67, 88. This is the array what I have created. You know how the memory is going to get allocated? It will try to allocate the continuous memory allocation for any array what you declare. It is not like one space for 34, later some 55 somewhere else. No, all the values inside the array will be getting occupied with a continuous memory allocation. So there is an individual box will be created for all the arrays, and under that, those all will be divided something like this. Okay, now I'm going to store the values inside this. Internally, it will be stored like 34, 55, 67, and 88. This is how it is going to get created. If I declare something called as var A is equal to 19, if I declare var C is equal to 100 and an array, this is the memory allocation is happening. For A, it find out a space somewhere like this. For C, it found out a space somewhere like this. And when it is array, this is what it is. And this array has been identified with a variable called as data. Okay. Now, whenever you're creating an array, by default, every value inside the array will be assigned with a numeric index value. Okay, whenever we are creating arrays inside your JavaScript, by default, every value will be assigned with a numeric index value, where the index value always starts with 0. Okay, the first guy will be always assigned with 0, 1, and 2, and 3. If I take an array of 100, implies it is going to take the values from the 0th index to 99th index. Okay, every value here, when you are declaring, are we specifying anything like 0 for 34, 55? No. By default, whenever you create an array, it is going to allocate the index value for each and every value within the array. Are we clear? Okay, so as I said, your index value is numeric, starts from the 0. Now, if you say that, no, boss, I want to start the index value with 1. Is it is possible? No way. The reason is you are not telling or you are not assigning the index. By default, I'm doing it. You cannot change the default things. By default, every value inside the array will be assigned with a default index value with 0. Starts with 0. Okay. Now, that is the reason whenever I'm consoling this array, you see, when it is a normal number, this is how it is showing. When it is an array, by default, the index 0 will be assigned to the first guy, 1 will be assigned to the second guy, 2 will be assigned to the third guy, and the 3 will be assigned to the fourth guy. Okay, you declare 100 values, you declare 1000 values, any values, whatever, any number of values you declare inside the array, every value will be assigned with a index value, something like this. Any questions? Clear, everyone? Okay, on the top. Now, say for example, when I'm saying A, I'm getting a single value, but when I'm saying marks, I'm getting some multiple values. Now, what I say is, what if I would like to identify a single value? My interest is, I want to get 66. How do I do that? If I say marks, it is throwing all the 4 values. But what if I want to identify one single value from the array? So anytime you want to identify one single value, you need to always make use of array name along with the index value. I say marks of 3. What do you mean by this marks of 3? Boss, you need to identify an array called as marks and you need to get a value which is under the index position as 3. What is the value which is at index position 3? It is 78. Now when I reload this guy, am I getting 78 over here, boss? Yes, it is. So this is how you're going to operate with the values inside the array. Anytime you want to operate the values inside the array, you need to make use the combination of name of the array with index of the array. As simple as it is. Are we clear? Okay. On the top, let us go with something called, I say, let us go with an example of our student details. For example, I want to go with your student details. You say, I'm going with student name, Mr. Raj. Okay. I say where age, say some. Right now I'm hard coding. You guys know how do we read the data dynamically. Okay. I say marks. Earlier, what we used to do, we used to say M1 is equal to say some 30, 90. I say M2 is equal to 88. I say M3 is equal to say some 56. I say M4 equal to 90. M4, okay, 4 subjects. Now I have to calculate the total of these guys. What I need to do? I need to say where total is equal to M1 plus M2 plus M3 plus M4. Okay, I say where AVG is equal to total divided by 4. I say console.log total. I say console.log AVG. A simple example I'm doing where I'm taking the name, age, marks of 4 subjects and I'm calculating this. Now, what is the output of this? Now, once I inspect this guy, I go to console. You see the sum is going to be 382, whereas my average is going to be 81. Fine, everyone with this? Everyone? Okay. Now, my requirement is if you clearly observe this, boss, when you're taking the subject marks of a student, when it is 4 subjects, it's fine, boss. I'll say M1, M2, M3, and M4. Let us take a student who is going with some MCA or BTech. Okay, a student who is part of your BTech, you know that he'll be having some 8 semesters, including the project. And for a semester minimum, you'll be having some 5+ subjects there. Assume for a single student, it will be almost like 40 to 50 subject marks there. So do you think that you will be declaring the variables like where M1, M2, M3, M4, M5, M50, etc. things and all? No, boss. Whenever you feel like there is multiple values belonging to a particular category, I say that 40, 90, 88, 56, 90, these all belong to a one particular category of marks. When they all belong to one particular category, why don't you group them and make it as a individual variable? Now, I mean to say something like where instead of doing this individual marks, can I say something called as where marks is equal to, because all those 4 values belong to a one category of marks. Why you're differentiating them? Why you're making it as individual variables? Instead, say something called as 90, say something, or else let me do this. I'll comment out this guy. Okay, I copy the same. Okay, now what I'm saying, I don't want to go with individual variables. I say var marks is equal to array of, say some 90, say some 88, say some 56, say some 90, something like this. Can I do this, boss, instead of going with individual variables? Now, if I may have 50 subject marks, 100 subject mark, doesn't matter for me. I'm having a single variable. I'm not confusing the piece of coding by declaring thousands of variable names there. When I know that there are multiple values belonging to one category of the marks, I'm creating an array and I'm storing the values inside it. Okay, now you tell me what is the logic of finding the sum here? In order to find out 90, what I need to do? Do I need to say marks of 0? Do I need to say marks of 1? I need to say marks of 2. I need to say marks of 3. As simple as it is. Now, when I save it, come back over here, reload the page. I'm getting the same output. But the advantage is I'm using the arrays. I'm not going with n number of scattered variables for a single type of data or single category of the data. Are we clear? Understood, everyone? Okay, super fine. Now, you may ask me a question, or if you clearly observe these guys, boss, you're saying marks of 0, marks of 1, marks of 2, marks of 3. Assume it is equal to, say, something called the subject of 50 subject marks I have. Do you think you will be going with marks of 0, marks of 1, marks of 3, marks of 50, etc. things and all? No, boss. And if you clearly observe this, am I not doing the repetitive concept there? Marks of so-and-so. Only value what is changing is index value. Whenever you have a repetitive piece of job, can I simplify that using your looping control structures? Using your looping, you can minify the piece of code. Now, instead of writing this much of lengthy code, what I will be doing is I'm going to comment out this guy. Instead of this, I will say var total is equal to 0. I will run a for loop. Why I'm not going with the while loop? Because I'm going stepwise. I'm starting with 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Whenever you go stepwise repetition piece of code, while loop or for loop? For loop. Now I say that for where I is equal to, where I need to start from index value, always starts with 0. Up to what I need to go? I will say I less than or less than 4. Because total number of values are 4, I will stop it at 3. Either you can say less than 4 or less than equal to 3. Okay. Now, am I going in a forward direction or backward direction? Forward. Now, I say I plus plus. Now, what I will say, can I say total is equal to total plus marks of I. Can I do this, boss? So what do you mean by this marks of I? Initially, it will be 0. Now it will become marks of 0. Later, it will become 1. It will become marks of 1. Marks of 2, marks of 3. Dynamically, it is going to happen. All the sum of the values will be stored under the total variable. Are we clear? So this is a simplified. Now, doesn't matter this guy is having 100 values or 200 values. Simple for loop will help you in order to find the sum of values inside the array. Guys, any question, please ask me now itself. As I said, you arrays are very, very, very important concept. Let me know any piece of question. I can help you out now itself. Okay, Biswajit, why these data structures are not supported? I mean, example, Biswajit, what data structures are not supported? Tree and all. If you remember, if you have an idea of C language, how the tree will be created? Tree will be created with some node. Okay, trees, graphs, whatever you have, you know how they will be created? They will be created something like this. Anyone having idea of tree data structure? Anyone? Okay, very nice. Okay, in a tree, this is how the node will be created. where at this part, it will be the left node address and this guy will be right node address. Now you will be having this guy, another node like this, and here you will be having address of this guy. So this address will be pointed down to this guy. This address will be pointed to some other nodes. In order to do this, do I need to work with addresses and pointers? Yes, JavaScript is never supporting the concept of pointers. If there is no concept of pointers and addresses, how you can create a nodes? Hope I'm clear with your question, Biswajit. Any data structure which is using address, it will not be supported in your JavaScript. Okay, Tarun, sir, once again, explain your looping condition. Very simple, Tarun. What I'm saying is, say, for example, I say where a is equal to some n number of values. You don't know how many values you have. No, if at all I have to find the sum, what I need to do, I have to say sum is equal to a of 0 plus a of 1 plus a of 3 plus etc. etc. You have to do this. Is it not a very lengthy process? Tarun, are you clear with this? What is the problem? I'll talk about the solution. Are you clear with the problem? Yes. Now the solution, what I'm saying is, if I clearly observe this, I'm repeating the same step 1 time, 2 time, 3 time, 4 time, n number of times I'm repeating. Now, if it is repeating, it can be solved by for loop where I equal to 0, I less than, assume it is 50 values. I say I 50, I plus plus I am doing. Are you clear with the for loop? Only for loop. Tarun, are you clear with only for loop? Yes, no? Yes, sir. Okay. Now, what I'm saying is, instead of this, I say sum is equal to 0, I'll do. Now, I'll do something called sum is equal to sum plus array of I. Initially, what will be? Sum plus array of 0. The value will be added into the sum. Now, existing value of sum plus array of 1 plus array of 2. Something we are going to do like this. Are we clear, Tarun, now? Why I am using the looping control structure to find the sum of this? Yes, no? Yes. Okay. Biswajit, can we write also length dot? Actually, we can write it Biswajit, but the thing is, I haven't discussed about that. I will talk about that. Okay. Right now, I haven't talked anything about the length property. That is the reason. That is the reason I'm not talking about this length. We can do that. I will talk about that later. Hamlata, we have given 4 values in the array. If there is a requirement for more than 4 values, we need to give all the values. Obviously, we need to, right, Hamlata? Okay. Now, when I say what she's saying is right now it is 4. This application is capable of finding the sum of 4 values. What if in future some other subject values are being added? What I need to do? Do I need to find these values and put this guy? Instead of this, now when I do the sum of this, you see it is still 81 and 324 only. Why so? You have written the for loop to start from 0 and go until 3. Implies I'm not considering the remaining values. So I may change some. For example, right now it is 10. I will make it as 10. In future, it will become 100. I will make it as 100. What if it is decreasing? You are manually calculating and manually putting this guy. So what if I want to make it dynamic? If at all you want to make it dynamic, you know what I have? You can simply say console.log marks.length property. Whenever you are creating any array inside your JavaScript, array by default have a property called as dot length. Dot length will tell you total number of values inside an array. Okay, automatically. Now, when I save this guy, come back and reload. What it is saying? 7 implies 7 values are there inside. In future, if I add some value here, I may say 33, 44. Now, when I reload the page, is it not dynamically calculating how many values you're having? Yes, boss. Now, can't I take this guy? Instead of putting this 5, can I take out marks.length over here, boss? Everyone? Yes. Now, when I save it and reload the page, this is how it is. Okay. Hope I answered your question, Hamlata. Ratnam. So, we don't know the index value. Then how do I give I less than? Hope you're clear now, right? Any more questions, guys? Online students, are we clear up to this? Everyone. Okay. Write a program. Write a program to declare a static array. To declare a static array with decimals and integers. To declare a static array with decimals and integers, comma, find the sum of all those values. Find the sum of all those values. I want everyone to write it. Don't sit idle. Okay, very simple thing. Earlier, I have taken a hard-coded array with some numbers. Now, what I'm saying, take a mix of numbers and decimals, hard-coded. I'm not like asking you to dynamically read it. I'll show you how do we dynamically read also. But you need to take those, find the sum and show me the sum of those. That's it. I want everyone to attempt it, guys. If you have questions, let me know. But sitting idle doesn't help you. Declare an array with different data types. I mean, only the numbers and decimals right now. Done, ma'am? So you want to have a copy of this? You can have a reference of this. You can, like, say, for example, at line number 25, what I'm doing, I'm taking an array of integers. You hard code values. You can say where some data equal to, try to put a mix of decimals and numbers. Done? Pass it. Nice. Done? Done? Executed? Very nice. Awesome. Instead of 4, what you can do? No. What if like dynamically I want to do marks dot length instead of 4 marks dot length? It will be dynamic. Very nice. Yes. Guys, if you are having questions, let me know, guys. Sitting idle doesn't help you. Yeah, looks good, Nagraj. Who said this? Sorry, Rao, it is good. Venkatesh. Nice, looks good, Venkatesh. Others, anyone having issue you want me to solve? Anyone want me to solve? Okay. So guys, I don't know why you are facing the issue. The code is already there here. Yes or no? Instead of numbers, I just ask you to put the numbers and decimals. That's it. Okay. What if I want to read the dynamic data into this? Okay. I'm removing this part. Okay. I say marks total so and so. Okay. This is an array which is having some hard coded student name is there, age is there and all. Now, when I run this guy, inspect this, go for console, you see that it is 566 and 141. Super fine. But here, am I not hard coding the data inside this? Now, I don't want to hard code the student name. What should I go for? I don't want to go for hard coding the student name. What should I go for? Prompt method. We know that instead of directly hard coding, we can simply say prompt, enter student name. In the same way, I don't want to go with hard coded array value. I say prompt, enter age. Clear, everyone? Can I say prompt marks here? No. Why so? Prompt is capable of taking how many values at a time? One value. Then how can I give multiple values? Do I need to use multiple prompts here? Okay. Now, instead of hard coding here, what I will be doing is I will put a for loop. I say where I equal to 0, I say I less than 5, I plus plus. I'm going to say marks of I is equal to prompt enter value. So what do you mean by this guy? You are starting with 0, you are ending till 4. Now what I'm saying, marks of 0 at 0th position, give me the value. At first position, give me the value. At second position, give me the value. It will be automatically inserted into this. Now when I save this guy, when I come back here, I reload the page. It is asking me the name, Mr. Raj. It is asking me the age, say some 20. It says marks is not defined. Why so? Obviously, I need to declare marks, right? I need to say where marks equal to an empty array. I need to say that it is an array, boss, capable of storing multiple values, boss. Come back and reload. Enter the student name, Mr. Raj, age some 10. Enter the value. First value I'm asking 55. Second value it is asking 66. Third value it is asking 77. Fourth value and fifth value. Okay. Now when I console these guys, let us see what we are reading. I say console.log marks. Save this and reload. Student name, say 17, age, some 10, values, first value, second value, third value, and fourth value. Now you see the data. Is it not a dynamic data or hard-coded data? Dynamic data. What is the data type of these guys? String, boss. You see inverted commas, right? So by default, when you're reading the data into the, using your prompt method, it is going to be string. Now, my intention is I don't want to store this as a string. I want to store in the form of a number. How do I convert this guy? Parseint. Okay. Can I parseint all the array at a time? No. Parseint has to be done individually. Now, what I need to do, once you read this guy, immediately you say marks of I is equal to parse int of marks of I. As simple as it is. Now, when you save it, come back and reload the page. Asking for Raj, age some 20, enter the value 55, 66, 77, 88, 99. Now, if you see, I'm reading the numbers and the total is so and so, average is so and so. So arrays are also capable of inserting with dynamic data. You don't need to hard code the data. Are we clear? Write a program. Write a program to read a dynamic array. Write a program to read a dynamic array and find the sum of and find the sum of all the even numbers within it. Find the sum of all the even numbers within it. Within it. Can you do this? I'm asking you to read an array. Now you need to identify what is a even number inside an array and you need to find the sum. Okay, next. Write a program to read a dynamic array of 10 values. To read a dynamic array of 10 values and list out all the prime numbers within it. And list out all the prime numbers within it. Next one. Write a program to dynamically read the values into the array and list out all the prime numbers within it. Write a program to find the sum of all the prime numbers within an array. Sum of all the prime numbers within an array. Next one. Write a program to find the list of all the palindrome numbers. List of all the palindrome numbers within an array. Write a program to find the lucky numbers of all the values within the array. Lucky numbers of all the values within the array, comma, add it into a different array. Add it into a different array. I mean, you need to take an array with some values, either hard coded or dynamic, whatever it is. Now you need to find out the lucky number of each and every value. Those all has to be stored in a separate array, another array. Okay. Next one. Write a program to find the write a program to read a dynamic array. And list out the values in ascending and descending order. In ascending and descending order. Next one. What happened? Done with the solution? Write a program to find the smallest and largest numbers from the given array without using sorting method. without using sorting method. Next one, write a program sorting, S-O-R-T-I-N-G. Sorting is ascending or descending order. Write a program to find out the total number of values inside an array. Total number of values inside an array without using length property. Write a program to find out the total number of values inside an array without using predefined length property. Without using predefined length property. Next one. Write a program. Why you are showing frustration? I'm not asking the solution. I'm giving questions and you're showing frustration. Write a program to find out the largest and smallest values inside the array. Sorry. Find out the largest and smallest values. What happened? I already gave it. I'm asking to do it for second time. Write a program, skip that guy. Write a program to find out the second largest value of an array. Don't show the frustrations. To find out the, if you show the frustration, I'll keep adding the programs. Okay. Write a program to find out the second largest value of an array. Write a program to find out reverse values of every value within the array into a second array. Write a program to find out reverse of every values of an array. Every value, what I said? Every value of an array, find the reverse of, comma, add into a different array. Add into a different array. I mean, the result has to be in a different array. Sorry? Array dot reverse. No. Actually, array dot reverse is only the values inside the array will be reversed, but not individual values. Okay, next. Write a program to solve all the above examples. Okay. So try to solve each and every program, guys. Try to solve. In fact, you can do that. We have already done. Say, for example, if I ask you to find out the list of all the prime numbers, you have all. Why you are packing the things? Okay. So yeah, finding the prime numbers we have already done. But now what I'm asking, take the values from the array, try to find out the prime number. Reverse of a number we have already done. Now I'm asking you to find the values inside the array. In the same way, lucky number we have done. In the same way, palindrome also we have done. All the things we have done as an individual variables. But now we are talking about arrays. Okay. So what is our next topic? So can I add data manually into the array? Obviously, yes, Roshan. I mean, it should not be hard coded. Whatever the examples we are talking, right? Try to make it as dynamic. Using the prompt method, you should be able to read the data. Okay. Fine, everyone. Next, what is the next topic? So the next topic, what we have is, where is my running notes? Okay. So the next topic, what we have is methods can be, or else predefined methods can be applied on arrays. Okay. So what are the predefined methods can be applied on arrays? So whenever I declare an array, right? Say, for example, I say some data is equal to some value, something like this. Whenever you're creating an array, JavaScript is providing some n number of predefined methods and properties which can be applied on an array. Okay, JavaScript is providing some predefined methods which can be applied on an array. So what are those methods? Let's have a look on this. Okay, now I say, for example, where data is equal to, say, some array of, right now I'm hard coding. You know how do we read it dynamically? Like this. Now, when I declare this array, what all the predefined properties or predefined methods can be applied? The very first thing is predefined property. The predefined property, what I have is, anytime you want to find out the length of values inside an array, you can simply say length is array dot, what is your array name? Data dot length, as simple as it is. Anytime you want to find out the length of a values, you dynamically, you simply say array name dot length property. Are we defining this length property or it is predefined? It is predefined. Now, when I save it, come back and open inside your browser, inspect this guy, it will dynamically tell you what are the total number of values inside your array. Are we clear? Okay. On the top, the first method, what we have is, there is some methods also. This is a property. I'm not saying length is a method. Why so? If it is a method, it would have been something like this. Method or a function. Method or function always opens and ends with a close brace, but it is not a method. It is a property, we call it as. Now, there is a method, something called as dot push method, P-U-S-H. P-U-S-H is one of the predefined method using which dynamically we could able to insert the values more than one inside an array. Okay, now I say something called as 100, something called as 201, something called as 783. These are the three values what I want to insert inside an array. Now, first of all, on load, what is the value of an array? I say console.log data. Okay, and finally, I say console.log data here. Now, when I save this, come back here and reload this page. Initially, what are the values I have was 34, 5, 6, 7, 88, and 90. Now, later after inserting, do you see that 100, 201, and 783 also been added over here? Yes, boss. Okay, so this is how I could able to insert one or any number of values inside the array. But the thing is, whenever I say push method always adds the right direction of your array. Okay, it is not going to add it on the left side. It is going to insert at the right side of the array there. Okay, any number of values, one or any number of values, you can simply say push method. It will be adding it to the right side of it. What if I would like to add to the left side of an array? So if at all you want to add at the left side, there is a predefined method, something called as unshift method. Unshift say some 1, 2, 3. Now when I save it, I say 1, 2. When I come back and reload the page, do you see 1, 2 got added onto the left side of this array? Yes, it is. Whereas 100, 201, 783 got added on the right side? Yes, it is. So unshift method and push method both are used to insert the values inside the array, where the push guy is inserting on the right side, unshift guy is inserting at the left side. Are we clear, everyone? Okay. Now, I would like to delete a value. Okay. Say, for example, I want to delete a value from the array. I will say data dot pop method. Pop is one of the predefined method using which you can delete, guys, please. Pop is one of the method using which we can delete one value at a time. You cannot delete more than one value at a time you can delete. Now I say pop here and I say console.log test here. Now once I reload, you tell me which value got deleted? 783. When I say pop method, it will delete the value from the right side of the array. What if I want to delete from the left side? You have a method, something called as data dot shift method. Shift and unshift used to insert or delete from the left side. Pop and push method used to insert or delete from the right side. As simple as it is. Now, when I save it, see here, what is the value which got deleted here, boss? 1 using the shift method, 783 using the pop method. Now, you may ask me a question, boss, every time when I'm working in the programming, you might not be only interested with the left direction or the right direction, right? What if I want to delete the third value? What if I want to insert a new value at the 4th position? How do I do that? What if I want to delete the values between 5 to 10? So these are all the customization requirements what I have. So how I'm going to achieve it? So in order to do that, there is a predefined method, the master method, which is splice, right? So splice is one of the predefined method provided in your array, using which you could able to insert, you could able to delete, you could able to do it anywhere you wanted. One single method called as splice. Okay, these all are individual methods for individual operations, but using this splice method, you could able to perform any type of operation, deletion, insertion, any number of values at any required position. So let us see this guy. So let me comment out these all. Okay, now I say something called as data dot splice method. Okay, the first value what it takes is starting index, where I need to start at. I say something called as 3. So you need to start at an index called as 3 here. Let me insert multiple values. Okay, now when I say splice 3, first value is where I need to start, and the second parameter is how many values I need to delete. I may say 2 here. What do you mean by this? This is the 0th position, 1, 2, and 3. From here, you need to start. How many values I need to delete, boss? 2 values. So after that, 7 and 88 will be deleted. Now, when I save it, after this, when I console this guy, okay, come back and reload the page. Do you see 7 and 88 are being removed? So one thing what we achieved is we could able to delete more than one value wherever you wanted. Agree, everyone? Understood? Now you don't know to go with the pop-up. Pop method or the shift method are deleting only one single value, that is only on the left and only on the right. But here what I'm saying, I could able to delete anywhere I wanted, any number of values I wanted. Okay. Now what if I want to push the values? You know what I can say? I can say splice 3, 2, comma, I may say 100, I may say 101, I may say 102, like this. Save this guy, come back and reload the page. What happened, boss? 788 is being removed. At the same position, these 3 values are being inserted. So what is the meaning of this guy? Boss, you need to start at 3rd index. You need to delete 2 values and you need to insert 3 values at the same position. So I'm deleting more than one value. I could able to insert more than one value at whatever the position I wanted. Now, if you ask me a question, I don't want to delete, only insert, then what I need to do? What I need to do? Simply make it as 0. So what do you mean by this guy? You need to start at 3rd index. And how many values I need to delete? You don't need to delete anything, but you need to insert all these 3. Now, if you save this guy, come back and reload the page. Without deleting, I still have the 788. At the same time, insertion is also been happened. As simple as it is. Okay. So if you have an idea of splice method, no pop, no shift, no unshift, etc., everything can be done only with your splice method itself. Splice method. So splice is the predefined method using which insertion, deletion, anything can be happened at any position within the array. Okay, so let's pause it for today, guys. There are some more methods I'll be taking in the tomorrow's class. Have a good day. Bye for today. Okay, and one more thing, guys, is every day someone is asking your ID cards and checking for your fees, etc. and all, right? Are they checking for the complete fees being paid or not? Yes, right? Are they providing the complete 1.5 hour of session to you? No, right? Are you asking for that? tomorrow when you are entering into the class, you need to ask that, boss, up to what time we are going to have this 1 hour of session. In fact, today, not even 1 hour, just 45 minutes of class being happened, right? So it is not like only they are asking, you need to ask it. Okay, boss, couple of days, it's already done. We can't keep reducing half an hour of session every day. So tomorrow when you're entering, you need to make sure when we are going to have the complete class of 1.5 hour session. We need to end at 10 o'clock. Okay, bye for today, guys.